Short Story 70. The Case of the Missing Cookies. Tom was a maestro of the mixer, a chocolatier of the classroom. Every Wednesday, his oven sang an aromatic aria of butter and brown sugar, his countertop danced with flowery waltzes, and his friends awaited the grand finale, a warm, gooey symphony of chocolate chip cookies. This Wednesday, however, the music died in a discordant crash. Tom pulled open the oven door, expecting an encore of golden brown perfection, but the stage was bare. Not a single crispy crescent, not a crumbly chorus line. The cookie concert was cancelled, replaced by a chilling silence. Panic gnawed at Tom's heart like a particularly hungry chipmunk. His cookies, his pride and joy, his Wednesday ritual were gone. Vanished. He felt like a conductor whose baton had turned into dust in mid-air. Suspicion, a bitter yeast, rose in his mind. Sarah, with her bottomless stomach for sweets, seemed the most likely culprit. David, known for his strategic cookie-swapping tactics, couldn't be ruled out either. Even grumpy Mr. Jones, the janitor with the perpetual scowl, became a suspect in Tom's cookie caper conspiracy. Determined to solve this culinary crime, Tom donned his detective hat, actually an inverted beanie, and grabbing his magnifying glass, a borrowed reading lens, he scoured the scene, sniffing for buttery clues amongst the flowery confetti. Tiny fingertips on the bowl, flower trails leading past the window. The stage was set for a full-blown investigation. His first interrogation target, Sarah. She was hunched over a poem, her pen scribbling frantically. "Did you see anything suspicious, Sarah?" Tom asked, his voice a nervous tremor. "Only words, my dear Tom," she replied, eyes glued to her paper. "The muse of hunger whispered tales of chocolate, but my ink, alas, is the only sweetness I shall taste today." Next, Tom cornered David, who was dribbling a basketball between his legs. "Did you, by any chance, David, indulge in a pre-game snack?" David grinned, his teeth flashing like stolen chocolate chips. "My hoops, my heart, my only cravings," he declared, bouncing the ball with a flourish. "I wouldn't touch your cookies, mate. I wouldn't want to ruin the perfect shot." Finally, Tom reached Mr. Jones, who was sweeping with a muttered complaint about crumbly chaos. "Mr. Jones," Tom asked cautiously, "did you happen to see anyone near the kitchen?" The investigation hit a dead end. Disheartened, Tom slumped against the wall, his dream of cookie justice melting away. Suddenly, a flash of sunlight caught his eye. A glint of plastic peeked from under his desk. He crawled down and pulled out a forgotten lunchbox, a lunchbox overflowing with chocolate chips. A slow smile spread across Tom's face. The culprit, hiding in plain sight, was none other than himself. In his frantic baking frenzy, he'd packed 2 batches, one for his friends, one for a late-night study snack. His own forgetfulness had been the villain in this cookie caper. Relief washed over him, as sweet as the stolen chips. He knew what he had to do. He grabbed the lunchbox and raced towards the playground, a joyous shout escaping his lips. There, huddled beneath the monkey bars, sat Emily, his quiet classmate. Her face was stained with flour and smeared with chocolate, a half-eaten cookie clutched in her hand. Her cheeks turned crimson as she saw Tom approaching. "Busted!" Tom declared, his voice bubbling with amusement, not anger. "But don't worry, Emily, the show must go on." He pulled out the second batch of cookies, warm and tempting, and shared them with her. As they nibbled, giggling at their shared secret, Tom realized something new. Friendship, not just cookies, was the sweetest reward of all. And Wednesdays, filled with laughter and shared treats, would never be the same, but definitely much sweeter. The case of the missing cookies remains unsolved. A delicious mystery whispered across the playground. But for Tom, the real lesson was clear. Sometimes the best ingredients in life are found not in the oven, but in unexpected friendships and the courage to laugh at yourself, even with your face full of chocolate cookie crumbs. Vocabulary notes. General. Maestro, a highly skilled person, especially in music or another art form. Tom is skilled at baking cookies. Aria, a solo song in an opera or operetta. The oven singing an aria refers to the sound of baking cookies. Discordant, harsh and unpleasant to hear. The silence after the cookies are missing is compared to a discordant sound. Culinary, relating to cooking or food. This is a fancy way of saying cooking or food related. Caper, a playful mischief or adventure. The missing cookies create a mystery or caper. Flowery, excessively elaborate or sentimental language. Tom's detective hat and reading lens metaphorically add flowery elements to his investigation. Scowl, a frown or sullen look. Mr. Jones has a perpetual scowl, meaning he always looks grumpy. Flourish, a dramatic movement or gesture. David bouncing the basketball with a flourish is a showy movement. Crimson, a deep red colour. Emily's cheeks turn crimson when she's embarrassed. Laughter and shared treats. This phrase describes the new, happier tradition Tom and Emily start. Figurative language. The music died in a discordant crash. This is a metaphor comparing the disappearance of the cookies to a sudden stop in a musical performance. Panic gnawed at Tom's heart like a particularly hungry chipmunk. This simile compares Tom's anxiety to the feeling of a hungry animal nibbling at his heart. Suspicion, a bitter yeast, rose in his mind. This metaphor compares suspicion to yeast, which causes dough to rise but can also have a bitter taste. The stage was bare. This metaphor compares the countertop where the cookies were baked to a stage in a performance. Crumbly confetti. This metaphor compares the flour on the countertop to tiny pieces of paper thrown in celebration. Tom's face full of chocolate cookie crumbs. This phrase is used literally to describe how Tom looks after laughing with Emily, but it also metaphorically emphasizes their shared experience and friendship. Vocabulary specific to baking. Mixer, a kitchen appliance used to mix ingredients. Oven, a kitchen appliance used for baking. Countertop, the flat surface used for preparing food in a kitchen. Flour, a powdery substance made from ground grains used as the main ingredient in bread and pastries. Butter, a dairy product made from churned cream used for its flavour and texture in baking. Brown sugar, a type of sugar with a molasses flavour, often used in baking. Chocolate chips, small pieces of chocolate added to cookies and other baked goods. Batch, a single quantity of something that is made or prepared at one time. Crescents, curved pastry shapes similar to the shape of the moon. Gooey, sticky and soft. Story written by Google Bard AI. Image created by Desgo.com AI. Hello, this is Steve. If you enjoyed the story, please would you click on the like icon and take the time to leave a comment. If you want to know when the next story has been uploaded, please click on the notify bell icon to be notified. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your English learning friends so they can benefit too. Thank you.